Hi everyone, my name is Gautam Gupta and I want to welcome you all to my YouTube channel, Universal Fundamentals. In this video, I'm going to continue my series with the 2025 Vedic Astrology yearly predictions for all of the 12 ascendants and moon signs, and how these planetary transits will be affecting you based on your ascendant and moon sign. And in this video, I will exclusively be talking about Taurus ascendants and moon signs. Now, like I said before, 2025 is going to be a monumental year because all of the slower moving planets will be changing signs at some point in 2025. And this is going to bring huge shifts to everyone's life depending on what your ascendant and moon sign are. And when I talk about the slower moving planets, I am talking about the nodes Rahu and Ketu, Jupiter, as well as Saturn. All of these planets will be shifting signs in the coming year of 2025. And in fact, Jupiter will travel through three signs as it will be moving pretty quickly in 2025. Now, before I begin this discussion in detail, I do want to remind everyone to please check out my website, universal-fundamentals.com, where you can learn more about me and what I do as a Vedic astrologer. You can also check out the various services that I offer, and I will be leaving links down below so you all can check that out in more detail. I also want to remind everyone that I do practice sidereal Vedic astrology and not Western tropical astrology. Also, if you find this video to be helpful and useful, then please give it a thumbs up by hitting the like button and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Doing so will really help me out with the YouTube algorithm so this video can reach a vast audience. So with that being said, I will now begin discussing how all of these planetary transits will affect a Taurus ascendant and or moon sign for the year 2025. So the first important transit I want to start discussing for a Taurus ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Saturn will continue to remain in your 10th house of Aquarius until March 29th of 2025. And this is going to continue to help you with your career progression as well as your social standing and reputation. You will find that you're getting the recognition you deserve and people will take note of your talents. Now, with Saturn's third aspect to your 12th house, this does tell me that although your career aspects will continue to go well throughout this time frame, you do have to take care and make sure you get enough proper sleep, as you could be overworking yourself at this time. You may have to take extra proactive measures to make sure you are getting enough rest with this aspect. And with Saturn's seventh aspect to your fourth house, this tells me that your mother may continue to need some of your attention throughout this time. So it will be important to address any underlying issues in a tactful and timely manner. However, if you successfully manage to address these issues, then I see a long-lasting deep connection forming by the end of this transit. I also see that you have to spend some extra time addressing any real estate or vehicle issues. But once you successfully do so, then you will have a much easier time enjoying these aspects of your life. And finally, with Saturn's 10th aspect to your 7th house, this tells me that relationships between your business partners and or significant other will continue to require a great deal of commitment, duty, and sacrifice. However, if you apply the right principles and values to your relationships at this time, then you will develop a long-lasting, deep connection with one another that could last a lifetime. And this is especially if it relates to your significant other or spouse. Now, normally with Saturn's 10th aspect to the 7th house, this usually indicates challenges to that particular house. However, because transiting Jupiter in Taurus is also aspecting the 7th house, this is creating a point of manifestation. So therefore, you will continue to have opportunities to flourish in your 7th house matters of relationships with your business partners and or significant other. This point of manifestation in your 7th house of Scorpio will continue until March 29th of 2025, which is when Saturn transits into the sign of Pisces. Now, the next important transit I want to discuss for a Taurus ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Jupiter will continue to remain in your first house of Taurus until May 14th of 2025. And a very important event that is occurring on February 4th of 2025 is that transiting Jupiter will be turning direct at around 17 degrees of Taurus. So if you happen to have a planet that is around 14 to 20 degrees of Taurus, Virgo, Scorpio, and or Capricorn, then you're going to have many blessings, successes, and opportunities blossoming due to any opportunities that you may have seized during the first 2 weeks of July 2024. This will be incredible for things related to your first house matters, such as your self-development, confidence, and health. And this will also be beneficial for your fifth house matters, such as your relationship with the children, as well as your speculative investments. This will also be great for your seventh house matters, such as your relationships with either your significant other and or business partners, as well as your ninth house matters regarding the dynamics of your father, teachers, higher education courses, and spirituality. And your confidence will be extremely high for the remainder of this transit. You will feel extremely optimistic regarding where your life is going, and this will help you become more relaxed. Now, another important transit I want to mention is that transiting Venus will be exalted in your 11th house of Pisces from January 27th of 2025 until May 30th of 2025. And while it is in the sign of Pisces, it will be forming a mutual exchange with transiting Jupiter, which is in your first house of Taurus, up until May 14th of 2025. Now, the reason why I want to talk about Venus being in Pisces is because this is going to be a special transit. Venus normally stays in one sign for about a month, but this time it will be staying in the sign of Pisces for about 4 months, which is due to the fact that transiting Venus will be turning retrograde from March 2nd of 2025 until April 14th of 2025. And while Venus remains direct in your 11th house, this will actually enhance your financial situation. You will have several opportunities to connect with your social network circles. So if you have any parties that you're invited to, then don't hold back. Try to attend as many social events as possible, as you will meet many influential people that can really elevate your life to a whole new level. This is also a great opportunity to connect with friends and older siblings in a more fun and carefree manner. Now, one thing you have to be aware of is that Venus will turn retrograde from March 2nd, 2025 until April 14th of 2025. And this will be a transit where you have to exercise caution and care. You will have to be extremely careful when it comes to your interactions with the people in your social network circles, friends, and or older siblings. There can be some unresolved past issues that pop up, and it will be important to tactfully address these issues if you want to maintain good standing with these people. Also, while attending social events when Venus is retrograde, please be careful in your interactions with people, and especially influential people, as there are chances of your actions being misinterpreted. Try to lay low in your social circles if possible while Venus is retrograde, and only take bold and appropriate action when Venus is direct in your 11th house of Pisces. Now, while Venus is going to be in your 11th house of Pisces, it is going to be conjunct with Rahu in your 11th house, and Ketu is going to be in your 5th house of Virgo until May 29th of 2025. And this transit is going to prompt you to continue to meet as many influential people as possible in an attempt to expand your network circles. However, you may find with Rahu being in your 11th house, your friends and older siblings may need some of your attention throughout this time. So it will be important to address these issues in a very reasonable manner to ensure that boundaries and personal time are respected. This will also continue to be a great transit for financial gains as well, and this can be in the form of a bonus from your work. Now, an extremely important part about this transit is that starting March 29th of 2025, transiting Saturn will also join Rahu in your 11th house of Pisces. And this is going to really change things to a completely different level. And this conjunction will last until May 29th of 2025, when transiting Rahu will finally go into your 10th house of Aquarius. But while Rahu and Saturn are together in your 11th house of Pisces, this tells me that there can be some temporary friction concerning your social network circles, friends, and your older siblings. And this is due to the fact that Rahu and Saturn are not friends to each other. Rahu is a planet that wants things now, and Saturn is a planet that restricts and delays things. So you may also find that you're having a hard time getting your wants and desires fulfilled. So it is going to be extremely important to exercise patience. Now, the good news is that once Rahu leaves the sign of Pisces and goes into Aquarius, then Saturn's transit in Pisces will be a lot better for you. And this is a transit where I see that your recognition, social standing, financial gains, and career will continue to prosper at a slow and steady pace. But nonetheless, you will have a much better time connecting with people in comparison to Rahu and Saturn being together in your 11th house. So just keep that in mind as you navigate this transit. Now, with Saturn's third aspect to your first house, this tells me that you may be feeling a sense of heavy responsibility in various areas of your life. And this may cause some health concerns if you don't manage the stress properly. However, while Jupiter is in your first house until May 14th of 2025, I do see a certain amount of protection and growth regarding your health, self-development, and confidence. And this will be due to the fact that Saturn's third aspect to your first house and Jupiter transiting the first house of Taurus until May 14th of 2025 is providing a point of manifestation. So I do think just for that time frame, you will be protected. However, once Jupiter leaves the sign of Taurus, then you will have to be extremely careful when it comes to managing your health and stress levels due to Saturn's third aspect without Jupiter's support. Then, with Saturn's seventh aspect to your fifth house, this tells me that your children are going to need your attention and care. There could be a lot of issues that come up between you guys, and open communication and understanding are going to be extremely important in order to make things work. But I do think if you guys work through these issues together, then you will have a long-lasting, deep connection that will remain for a very long time. You also need to keep an eye for your investments and realize that slow and steady wins the race. Try not to get involved in any get-rich-quick schemes. The best approach is to focus on the basics and simplicity. And the good news is that up until May 14th of 2025, Jupiter will also cast its fifth aspect to your fifth house, so you will have a good amount of protection and stability when it comes to your children and investments due to its point of manifestation. However, once transiting Jupiter leaves the sign of Taurus after May 14th of 2025, you will have to be extra careful when it comes to dealing with your children and managing your investments. But as long as you apply discipline, focus, and hard work, then you will definitely emerge a winner. And finally, with Saturn's 10th aspect to your 8th house, this tells me that there could be some karmic obligations that you may have towards your joint assets and or in-laws if you happen to be married. You will have many discussions within these areas, and you will spend a lot of time making things happen and work. Now, the good news is that after May 14th of 2025, transiting Jupiter will enter the sign of Gemini, which is in your second house, and it will cast its seventh aspect to your eighth house of Sagittarius, and this will create a point of manifestation. So while transiting Jupiter is in the sign of Gemini, This will actually give you great opportunities to connect with your in laws and make progress when it comes to your joint assets in a very positive manner. I also think you will have several opportunities to study occult, mysticism, astrology, numerology, and even psychology if any of these areas are of interest to you. Now, one last thing I want to mention about the Saturn transit in Pisces is that Rahu and Saturn in the sign of Pisces together will last from March 29th of 2025 until May 29th of 2025. Then after May 29th of 2025, transiting Saturn will remain in the sign of Pisces up until June 2nd, 2027. And then it will return back to the sign of Pisces from October 20th of 2027, and it will stay in the sign of Pisces until February 22nd of 2028. Now, the next important transit I want to talk about is that transiting Jupiter will enter your second house, Gemini, on May 15th, of 2025. And it will go through the entire sign of Gemini throughout the next 5 months. So after October 18th of 2025, transiting Jupiter will briefly enter your third house of Cancer, but it will return back to the sign of Gemini on December 5th of 2025 and will remain in your second house of Gemini until June 1st of 2026. And while Jupiter is in your second house of Gemini, this is going to open up many opportunities when it comes to your financial goals and family life. These areas in your life are going to move forward very quickly since Jupiter will transit the entire sign within 5 months. And this will allow you to really get things done regarding your second house areas. I think you are going to see a rapid increase in your financial situation, and you will be communicating a lot when it comes to your money since the sign of Gemini represents communication. I also see you maintaining a great relationship with your family members, and you will be talking with them a lot more. And any family gatherings that you have during this 5 month period will turn out to be extremely heartwarming, where connections will be formed on a deeper level. Now, with Jupiter's fifth aspect to your sixth house, this tells me that you will be getting along with your coworkers and employees quite well throughout this transit. I see a lot of cooperation, mutual understanding, and respect towards one another, and this is going to really allow you to accomplish a lot of your goals. So make sure you do a good job in maintaining this relationship. This is also a transit where I see you spending a lot of time with your pets. If you have pets, then this will be a time where I see a stronger connection between you guys. And I also see you taking good care of your health while Jupiter is aspecting your fifth house. Your health, for the most part, will be great. Then, with Jupiter's seventh aspect to your eighth house, this tells me that you may be spending a lot of time with your in laws as well. And I do see you forming a strong connection with them if you happen to be married. Also, if you are married and have joint assets, then I see your joint assets doing extremely well at this time. This is a great transit to make a joint investment together with your spouse, and I do think you will see fast and positive results. This is also a great transit for getting involved and studying any metaphysical sciences such as astrology. You will gain some great insights in this area. And if metaphysical sciences don't interest you, then psychology might be a great interest to you. And finally, with Jupiter's ninth aspect to your 10th house, this tells me that career opportunities are going to expand and give you a lot of blessings and success. This is your transit to take any and every opportunity available to you regarding your career, as I see you making tremendous progress in this area. Your social standing and reputation will be extremely strong and positive. People will really take note of you and appreciate all that you have to offer. So just make sure you're making yourself well known to others. Now, the next important transit I will be discussing for a Taurus ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Rahu will be going into your 10th house of Aquarius, and transiting Ketu will be going into your 4th house of Leo starting on May 29th of 2025. And it is going to remain in these signs until November 24th of 2026. And this is going to create another big shift when it comes to your domestic life, mother, career, and social standing. Now, with transiting Ketu into your 4th house of Leo, this does tell me that there might be a disconnect between you and your mother for the next 18 months or so. There may be issues in which both of you are not seeing things eye to eye, and this can cause some temporary discord. So it will be important to practice open communication so that you guys can attempt to mutually understand one another. Also, you may be thinking about changing your residence during this 18-month window. There is something about your current residence that's making you feel unsettled, and it's prompting you to move. It is also very possible that while Rahu is in your 10th house, you may move because of your work. So that's something to keep in mind as you go through this transit. Now, with Ketu's 5th aspect to your 8th house, this tells me that you will take a much more spiritual approach when it comes to interacting and connecting with your in-laws, as well as when it comes to dealing with your joint assets. And this will help cultivate a deeper understanding with one another, especially since Jupiter in Gemini is aspecting your 8th house as well until October 18th of 2025. This is also a great transit and aspect for learning spiritual subjects as well. Now, with Ketu's 9th aspect to your 12th house, this tells me that any international traveling may become a significant part of interest for you during these next 18 months. And this will give you an opportunity to learn more about different cultures, which will allow you to become more spiritually connected with other people. Because these experiences will allow you to see things in different perspectives. One thing I will say, however, is to please make sure that you're getting enough proper sleep at night, as Ketu's influence on your 12th house can give you some temporary troubles. But with proper actions and steps, you should be able to overcome any issues. Then, with transiting Rahu into your 10th house of Aquarius, this tells me that career growth and expansion are going to be a huge focus point for you. Some of you may be due for a big promotion, and because Rahu's dispositor is transiting your 11th house, you will have huge financial rewards and gains. So you are going to be extremely busy and successful throughout these next 18 months when it comes to your career. And part of this success and busyness will be the reason why there could be such a big disconnect in your domestic life. Because remember, Ketu is opposing Rahu, which is in your 4th house of Leo. But nonetheless, your reputation and social standing will be excellent throughout this transit. And another important aspect about this transit is that while Jupiter is transiting through your 2nd house of Gemini, transiting Rahu in your 10th house will be casting its 5th aspect to transiting Jupiter in your 2nd house. And in return, transiting Jupiter will cast its 9th aspect to your 10th house of Aquarius, which is forming a mutual aspect. And they will be both aspecting your 6th house of coworkers, employees, health, and pets. This means that there are going to be lots of opportunities for growth and expansion related to these areas. This means that you may be introduced to new coworkers or employees that will help you grow and prosper throughout your career. So keep all of this in mind as you navigate this transit. Now, the final transit I want to discuss for a Taurus ascendant and or moon sign is that transiting Jupiter will briefly enter your 3rd house of Cancer from October 18th of 2025 until December 5th of 2025. and it will turn retrograde on November 11th of 2025 at just under 1 degree of Cancer. So while Jupiter is transiting your third house during this short window of time, this is actually going to give you a preview as to what to expect when transiting Jupiter officially enters your third house of Cancer again later in the summer of 2026. So I want you to really pay attention to the events that do happen over the course of these 6 weeks, because you will end up receiving the blessings and opportunities of these events in the summer of 2026 when Jupiter officially enters the sign of Cancer. So when Jupiter enters your third house of Cancer for these 6 weeks, you may be thinking about connecting with your younger siblings and or neighbors a lot more. There could be instances that arise which bring you guys closer together in a positive way. This will also be a time where you may be thinking about writing and publishing any short stories or articles. This will be a great transit to start brainstorming and get your ideas on paper. You may also consider starting some social media projects where you can start showcasing your talents and skill sets. This is also a great time to brainstorm as well. Then, once Jupiter enters the sign of Cancer in the summer of 2026, you will be able to successfully execute these plans. Now, with Jupiter's fifth aspect to your seventh house, you may have an opportunity to meet someone special, which can really help elevate your relationship status. You may be even introduced to new business partners who can really help and elevate and reach your goals to a whole new level. Or if you're already in an existing relationship with your significant other, and or you already have an established relationship with a business partner, then this transit will give you a preview as to what opportunities you will be presented with that provide you growth and prosperity. Then, once transiting Jupiter enters the sign of Cancer in the summer of 2026, then you will be able to successfully execute these opportunities with success and ease. Then, with Jupiter's seventh aspect to your ninth house, this will give you a preview of the interactions that you will be having with your father and teachers that will transform into something a lot bigger in the summer of 2026. And I do think this will be a positive experience overall. And if you're thinking about taking any higher educational courses, then this 6 week window of period will give you a preview as to what you can expect to get out of these courses. Then during the summer of 2026, you may end up officially enrolling in these courses and become busier in this area. And finally, with Jupiter's ninth aspect to your 11th house, this will give you a preview of the interactions and activities that you may be involved in with either your network circles, friends, and or an older sibling. And these interactions and activities will actually bring you closer together, and it will officially become manifested once Jupiter officially enters the sign of Cancer in the summer of 2026. You may also get an idea as to what you can do to bring in more money, as the 11th house does rule great gains. So this is what I wanted to cover regarding what's going to happen for a Taurus ascendant and or moon sign for the year 2025. I hope you guys got something out of this. Once again, if you found this video to be useful, please give it a thumbs up by hitting the like button. Doing so will really help me out with the YouTube algorithm so this video can reach a vast audience. Also, if you're new to my channel and would like to see similar videos like this in the future, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on that bell notification. And if you would like to know more about me and what I do as a Vedic astrologer, please check out my website, universal-fundamentals.com. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.